Good morning and welcome, or afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to the Spiritual Warrior Face YouTube channel. I don't come on here that much for me to remember where I am. Okay, so we're on YouTube. So I wanted to come on here and welcome all of you. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, we are looking to reach more people. So definitely subscribe to this channel. It takes like literally like this, 2 seconds, beep, so we can reach more people. Okay, so today I'd love to talk about, does the media disconnect people? I mean, it's kind of an obvious no-brainer question and answer. Does the media disconnect people? And the answer is yes, media disconnects people. So let's go deeper into what that means. The media, I mean, I don't know the history of the media. I can't give you like facts of what the historical meaning of the media is. But what I can say is that since the introduction of the television and of the news, people have been divided, and people are becoming more and more and more divided. And the thing is with the media, particularly the news, they call it a program for a reason, right? Like you're going to watch a specific program on TV that is designed, that word right there tells you something. It means we're being programmed. So depending on what you're watching, you're going to be programmed in a certain way. So let's just use the example that everyone uses of like CNN versus Fox. CNN's more liberal, Fox is more conservative. And depending on what people are watching and the conversation that they're having with each other, that's going to cause disconnection. And it's designed that way. It is designed to cause disconnection in the home. It is designed to cause arguments. It is designed to cause fights. And, some people might argue and say it's also designed to provide information. Yes, the information that they want to give you, the information that they want to give to you. So here's one way that media does bring people together is, people do end up watching movies together or going to the movies together or sitting down and watching a Netflix show together. And that can create connection. But are people really connecting? I mean, you're hanging out, right? You're hanging out and watching something, and you may enjoy the thing that you're watching together, but are you really connecting with another person? No, not really. I mean, yes, you are, but not really, because what you're really doing is you're connecting about the thing that you're watching, right? You may like the characters, you may resonate with the messaging, you may like the cinematography, but are you actually connecting heart to heart? No, you're not. It's one of those like false sense of connections. It's a fun thing to do together. But the media is designed absolutely 1000% to pit us against each other. So let's use the example that's very fresh still in everybody's minds around COVID. The vaxxed versus the unvaxxed. That was media pitting people against each other. I remember seeing things coming up around with news, like Today shows and all those kinds of like The View and things like that. I don't watch that stuff, but I would see clips of it, people pointing out that there was one that said, should you ditch your unvaccinated friends? Meaning, should you stop talking to your unvaccinated friends and family? I think was on it as well. How many people were uninvited to Thanksgiving or Christmas or weren't allowed to play with their, people's kids because of that? And where did it all stem from? It all stemmed from the media. If we didn't have the media, none of us would know like a 98% of what's going on in the world. We would stay in our corners. We would stay where we are. Now, you can also argue that the internet brings people together. The internet brings people together. And without the internet, I mean, there's censorship on the internet, and it's only going to get worse, but there is censorship on the internet. But that does bring it together. Like there's a light side of that and there's a dark side of that. But the disconnection, the piece I wanted to bring up the most here is like, I have seen so many people break down, stop talking. I mean, I lost friends during the pandemic, many friends. Now when I look back, they're not friends, right? They were conditional friends. They were, you're not doing what I want you to do, friend. So you're no longer my friend, right? They were very, very conditional, but that's not friendship. However, I see a lot of that breakdown, like people fighting and arguing over something that a talking head said on the media. So does the media cause disconnection? Absolutely. And we can said, like I said, we can argue for that there are things on the internet that bring people together. You know, there are ways like people come together, and like for community organization and Facebook pages and awareness. But by and large, the mass media is designed to pit us against each other. And as we're going into the election here in the United States in 2024, it's going to get ugly in the media. And this is where you come in, and this is where I come in. We come into really watching your reactions, watching where you're giving your power away, and critically thinking for yourself. Because the theater is going to be off the charts, and people are going to be, they're going to have so many opinions. And the thing here, I'm going to give an example of something, and then I'm going to keep this pretty short today. There's this song out, you may have heard it, by Oliver Anthony. He's a singer in Virginia, and he wrote this song. He just became famous overnight. He he's poor. He lives in Virginia. He's no longer poor. He's now in sensation, but he came out with this song called Rich Men North of Richmond. And it has blown up the internet. And it's talking about politicians, and it's talking about people being overtaxed and overworked and underpaid. And it's a very, very real song. He's not talking about politics. He's not talking about liberal Democrat. He said Richmond North of Richmond, meaning the men in Washington. That's what he's talking about. But I have been fascinated by this, because the media has tried to make it out to be a political thing and for us to get pissed at each other. They're like, this man wrote this beautiful song. He is 30 years old. He's dealt with, he's very open about it. He was dealing with sobriety, trying to get sober, and mental health issues. And he was down and out, and he just put a microphone in his yard in the woods with his dogs, and put this song out. And if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. You'll feel it in your soul. You will feel this song in your soul. And he also just dropped another song called I Want to Go Home, and that you'll feel as well. That one almost hits me harder than the other one. It's so beautiful. And it's short. It's 2.5 minutes. And it's just, but the politicians don't like it because he's calling people out. So in a lot of ways, I've never watched reaction videos on YouTube, people just play a song and then they react to it. But with this, I did. I was really interested to see what people were saying and how the song was bringing people together all over the world, and how the media was actively working overtime to discredit him and create a divide. And it really wasn't working, because I watched these YouTube videos, these reaction videos, and people, Black people, Indian people, white people, Hispanic people, all love this song, and they weren't making it political. It's human. But if you look at the media, they were I heard one guy, because he said Richmond North of Richmond. He literally was like a professor. The stretch to make it about slavery was he's north and south. He's talking about north and south. He's not talking about north and south. He's literally saying he's not talking about slavery. Had nothing to do with slavery. But this guy went on and on and on in his political. That was the biggest stretch. But what's the point of it? Because a lot of times the media does not want us unifying, does not want us coming together. And where we get to come in is not allowing it to come into our friendships, to come into our homes, and stand like a warrior. Stand like a warrior. Critically think for yourself. Imagine if TV went away, the phones went away. We would be living a very, very different world. We would treat each other very differently. But because someone on a TV tells us what to do or think, people do it. People think it. People, and all of those clips, everything's manipulated for you, for us, for me. So as we're going into this election here in the United States, and things are going to get a little stickier and they're going to work overdrive to disconnect us and pit us against each other. I promise you that. I almost wanted one of my second careers I wanted to do was to teach media literacy to kids. And I almost went to graduate school for it because I'm fascinated by it and teaching kids how to discern the media. It's like another language, watching out where the symbolism, watching what they're really trying to say, the consumerism, being a smart consumer, being a smart, as we're in this world. So as we're going into it, really working on when your reactivity, wanting to be right. My husband and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. We don't, I see way beyond what's the veil, way beyond. And I always have. Like, I don't see what's just right in front of me. I see about 5 steps in, 5 layers in. And he and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And does that get to come in between in my marriage? Because our perspectives of things are different. No, it doesn't. I mean, that's not. And whenever it gets that way, I know that energy is coming in, that division, that divided energy is coming in. And as we're moving toward this election year, 2024, you're going to want to really work on your personal relationships, on your connections, on being genuine and critically thinking for yourself. And watching it and not getting pulled in to what is going on out there. So does the media disconnect us? Absolutely. It's designed that way. And then we have this other thing called the internet. Like, I'm talking to you on the internet. So there is a light side to it all. There is a bright side to it all. We just have to use it in a way that we come together and not in a way that's going to divide us. And everything you see on the media, think about it critically. Think about it critically. I've been reading this book, I think I've mentioned it here before, called Outwitting the Devil. And Outwitting the Devil is all about, like, really watching those places where we get slippery inside, and they call like the devil wants to bring us into the drift, away from God, away from ourselves, away from our light. And anything that does that, we want to be super careful of. So, and critical thinking is empowerment. It is empowerment, 100%. It is empowerment. And not just because someone on the TV said it's so. Really feeling into your gut, really feeling into your heart, really feeling into your own mind. Does this ring true for me? Does this ring true for me? And as we go into 2024, praying for unity and praying for us to come together. We are one species, right? We are the human species, the human race, coming together. All right, that's all I had to say today. Connecting with the people that you love in your life and connecting with your neighbors and releasing ego and the need to be right is going to be really important as we come into 2024 and beyond. All right, my name is Beth Osmer, and I will see you here. What day is it? Next Monday. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, hey. Hi. Oh, I didn't see your messages. Happy hippie. Hello, Catherine. Hi, Maria. Good to see you here. Thanks for coming.